If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at DuluthNewsTribune.com/podcasts. That's DuluthNewsTribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's today's headlines. A discussion about how to make Skyline Parkway safer for pedestrians and bicyclists drew nearly 100 people to Lincoln Park Middle School on Monday night in the wake of a couple of recent fatalities. Ken Bickle, 70, was struck and killed February 20th while walking Skyline near its intersection with West 5th Street. Just 16 days earlier, Logan Woke, 26, died when his car slid down a steep embankment and rolled off the same road below Anger Park. Since that time, the drumbeat of people calling for safety improvements has intensified, with a neighborhood petition quickly garnering more than 130 signatures. Much of the discussion has centered on the need to reduce vehicle speeds and create more room for non-motorized traffic, as well as safer crossings. Concerns on Monday center not only on Skyline, but also on West 5th Street, which carries considerable traffic both to and from the scenic roadway. 5th Street residents and operators of a preschool located on the same steep road expressed their alarm about the speeds at which vehicles often travel through their neighborhood. City Administrator Dave Montgomery noted that 5th Street traffic has been blocked off for a repaving project and said the city is considering whether access to Skyline from the road should simply be curtailed indefinitely, even after the work is completed. The mention of that possibility elicited applause from the audience. In March, the city installed traffic monitors that showed an average of 1,081 vehicles traveling Skyline at an average speed of 26 miles per hour, and an average of 348 vehicles per day traveling down West 5th Street at an average speed of 24 miles per hour. Joe Yurovich, the city traffic engineer, said the city proposed to try converting a section of Skyline to one-way eastbound motorized traffic, relying on Hank Jensen Drive to carry traffic in both directions through the area around the backside of Anger Park. He said this would provide room to create a dedicated 3-foot-wide bike and pedestrian lane separated from motorized traffic, with a post to find a division. Some residents suggested the city close the section of Skyline to motorized traffic altogether, along the lines of what it did during the COVID-19 pandemic, when traffic was rerouted around the north side of Anger Park via Hank Jensen Drive. Dory Rappaport, who lives in the Observation Hill neighborhood, thanked the city for taking input from residents. She recommended that West 5th Street be turned into a dead end, unconnected with Skyline. The University of Minnesota Duluth has named Julie Delaquainty the next director of the Tweed Museum of Art. Delaquainty, whose appointment was announced Monday, will start work on June 10th. Speaking by phone with the News Tribune, Delaquainty said she hopes to make the museum, quote, a central part of every student's experience, end quote, at UMD, as well as an institution where members of the broader community feel welcome. Delaquainty has extensive experience at comparable institutions across the country, most recently serving as head of visitor experience at the University of California's Irvin's Jack and Shanaz Langston Institute and Museum of California Art. Her experience also includes being Director of Education and Interpretation at Stanford University's Cantor Arts Center and Exhibition Director and Associate Curator at Emory University's Manuscript, Archive, and Rare Book Library. The hire will mark a return to Minnesota for the California-born Delaquainty. She worked in education at the Minneapolis Institute of Art from 2004 to 2007. During that time, she also managed a traveling documentary photography exhibition for the Greater Minnesota Housing Fund. Delaquainty also has a family connection to the state. Her oldest child, the comic artist and writer Blue Delaquainty, is based in Minneapolis. Now here's a Q forecast, brought to you from the News Tribune's Northlandia podcast.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at some chances of showers and windy conditions once again. We'll be looking at high temperatures in the low 60s for today. Going into tonight, we'll still be looking at breezy conditions, but we'll see those clouds work their way out, and we'll have more sunshine for Thursday and slightly warmer. Temperatures back into the mid-60s. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to the Northlandia podcast for their support. The bi-weekly podcast explores curious and unique stories here in the Northland. The latest episode looks at how a Grand Marais coffee shop connects the community with weather reports. You can find that episode and others at DuluthNewsTribune.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Peter Passy and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.